if we're looking at just investment scams only,
Right.
that in 2021 there was $1.7 billion of losses from investment scams.
That's crazy.
In 2022, that number nearly doubles, right? It's at 3.8 billion. I guess that's more than doubles, actually.
Yeah.
Then in 2023, it was $4.6 billion. Hello, Apriem family, and welcome to episode 16 of Apriem Financial Cents. In this episode, I sit down with Shawn Covarrubias, who is an accredited investment fiduciary, AIF, as well as the VP of Client Services here at Apriem Advisors. And what we talk about is the importance of having a trusted contact person listed on your account. In today's day and age, there's fraud that's just running rampant, and this is an important level of security that we should all be paying attention to. I hope you enjoy the episode and you get a lot out of it. All right, so I know we're hopping in, we're talking about trusted contacts today.
Right.
And so before getting on, actually, I found kind of some neat statistics that I just wanted to kind of preface and talk about.
Okay.
So I got this off the Federal Trade Commission, off their website, and apparently in 2023, there were 2.6 million cases of fraud that were reported.
Wow.
And it accounted for $10 billion of reported losses. And that was
crazy.
last year in 2023. And so in 2022, there was apparently 2.5 million of total fraud cases reported and $9 billion of losses. So the number is going up. And then it actually dials it down even further, right? And so it says that if we're looking at just investment scams only,
Right.
that in 2021 there was $1.7 billion of losses from investment scams.
That's crazy.
In 2022, that number nearly doubles, right? It's at 3.8 billion. I guess that's more than doubles, actually.
Yeah.
Then in 2023, it was $4.6 billion. So the amount of scams and fraudsters that are out there, they're only getting better, and those numbers are growing. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really relevant for what we were talking about today.
Yeah.
So I know we're supposed to talk about trusted contacts.
Right.
So what exactly is a trusted contact?
So a trusted contact is someone that you name on the account who we can contact if we can't reach you. They won't get any of your financial information or anything like that. It's just to be able to reach out and say, I haven't spoken to Mr. Smith in quite a while. I haven't been able to reach him. Is anything going on? Do you know how we can possibly reach him?
Okay. And so they can't make any changes on my account. They can't get my account balance.
Nothing like that.
Okay.
They can't trade on the account. They can't
move anything, change
move
beneficiaries.
any money, change beneficiaries, nothing like that. It's a completely separate role from trading authority or even view only. They can't even view your account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so, in that case, then why is that important?
It's important in case we feel that even the client is being financially exploited in any way, or we feel something funny is going on, or if we simply can't reach the client. It's important to have someone that the client trusts that we can reach out to on their behalf to make sure everything's okay.
Okay. All right. And so is there a certain number of trusted contacts I could have?
You can have 2 trusted contacts on your account, and it's good to have 2 in case we can't reach one.
Okay.
So, and each account owner can have 2. So if it's a joint account, like you and your wife, you could have 2 and your wife could have 2.
Okay. As far as my trusted contact, what kind of information do you need on them? Do I have to give a lot of information, or is their privacy fairly...
Their privacy, it's really just their name, address, phone number, email address.
Okay.
Yeah, no social or date of birth, anything like that.
So, we're talking about all this fraud and stuff that's going on. Have you in your career come across any cases where somebody either had or did not have a trusted contact, and they should have?
Yeah, definitely. We had a case where we had a client we hadn't been able to reach for a couple years. We reached out to him and his wife, and no response. Finally, we found out he had passed away. which was unfortunate that we didn't have someone else besides them to contact. That's one example. We have another example of a client, an elderly client who was being financially exploited, and we had a trusted contact of her granddaughter. So we reached out to her granddaughter, and we could find out what was going on with her grandmother.
And so was she able to help the situation?
Yes. Yeah, she was. And we were able to, get in contact with the client as well as Senior Protective Services, because the granddaughter had already been working on that.
Yeah, I've heard of cases where it's almost fairly common where these fraudsters will call somebody. Typically, they're targeting somebody that's elderly, and they're impersonating a grandchild. It might be something like, "Grandma, I've been arrested, and I need X amount of money to get out." And then they end up, sending a Western Union or something along those lines to one of their grandkids. But if they just picked up the phone and actually, called their grandkid, they might find that they're perfectly fine. And
we have unfortunately had that happen to a client, and they're told, do not call anyone, things like that, and that client lost quite a bit of money believing that their child had been kidnapped. So we weren't aware of the situation, but when we became aware of the situation, that's when it's good to have a trusted contact or someone to reach out to.
Right. Do we typically see this only happens with elderly folks, or does it happen to
personally, I think it can happen to anyone. People, I know even my husband will get a phone call, think it's Cox, and they ask for a social, or I'm like, don't give out your social, any information. Always call. I always think if Cox is calling me, I'm going to hang up and call the number on the Cox bill.
Right. Type
of example, or Visa or MasterCard.
Yeah.
The IRS isn't going to call you. I think it's just being aware of those types of situations. But it can happen to you, me, anybody.
Yeah. It's important to always err on the side of being suspicious and cautious, because it's not just phone calls, right? It's phone calls, it's emails. It's text messages now, and it's coming at us from all angles.
And don't click on any links that you don't know.
that you didn't request.
But I think it's just being really aware, looking to see who the sender is. That's what I tell my mom all the time. Let's click on who the sender is. It says Cox, but then it comes up some random name at Gmail. That's fraud.
Okay, and so how does somebody, they say, okay, they're listening and they go, okay, that sounds important. I want to set up a trusted contact. I don't have a trusted contact. How do they go about setting up their trusted contact on at least their investment accounts?
So they can call us and we can get them the forms, or walk them through possibly online how to get that taken care of. And it's relatively simple, just to add them, and then they're on file with Schwab as well as our office, so we know who to reach out to.
Yeah. And so for those that aren't clients of Apriem, typically you can normally add a trusted contact through your portal, right? You can log into your account online.
To your Schwab account.
Okay. And just go to profile, and then it's the next where you would add your beneficiaries. Okay.
Yeah, go to your profile.
All right, very good.
And I think it's important.